Today I want to talk about making money in the final mile business with your own cargo van. I recommend starting with a van that you can pay cash with, a minivan like an older Toyota Sienna or a Honda Odyssey yeah, I would stick with those two brands. They're a little bit more reliable than the American brands. But the key is consistency and being flexible, being willing to work all hours, including third shift. It's best to be single because you're going to be on the road a lot if you want to make money. I mean, by all means, if you want to make $700 or $800 a week, you probably work 9 to 5 every day. But you have a major breakdown, and that money doesn't go very far. So you got to maximize your earnings potential by being flexible. I recommend getting 6 to 8 hours sleep a day as well, and then being available to run the rest of the time, because there's potential to make big money in the final mile business, especially if you're a workaholic like myself. I tend to drive about 7 days a week. Certain weeks that I may hit almost 100 hours. But if you're doing that, it's rewarding. It gets frustrating on the slower weeks when you're used to working big hours, running big miles. But like in any industry, you do have your weeks where you're only working 40, 50 hours a week. That might be enough for most people. It's not enough for me. I like running at least 3,000 or 4,000 miles a week. And some of the industries you'll be serving in the final mile business is banking. The banks have mail and loan applications and stuff like that, secured documents that they need shipped. But also the medical industry is huge. You can do medical routes, whether it's pickups at doctors' offices and delivered to labs, or it could be anything like human tissue. It could be for fertility companies delivering shipments to couples that are trying to have a baby or whatever. It could be anything from industrial to tile to anything like that. Do not discriminate. Be willing to lift up to 75 pounds. Make sure you have a hand truck so you can transport the stuff. But it takes a business mind and a can-do attitude to succeed in the final mile business. Usually everything is either on a time schedule route or it's rush order, meaning the pickup needs to be done within 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours max, and you need to go straight to the destination. The good thing about it compared to expediting, I also used to be involved with Panther Transportation. I had straight trucks and I had drivers that went across country. Good thing about final mile business is it's local and regional, and no matter how far you can go, you can sleep in your own bed every night. That's the biggest thing. You know what I mean? So you're not spending time in truck stops unless, sometimes you have 16-hour days and you need to sleep in the cab or whatever. Do it for an hour or two before you go home, and then just go out of service until you're ready to go again. Sleep as much as you need. Well, being my first video, it's important to find, the right gig for you. There's so many gigs out there that they don't pay the driver fairly, and you need to weed them out. But some of the companies you can look at if you want to get started in the final mile business is T-Force, which they used to be Dynamix. You can also look at, if you're in New England, there's a company called Courier Express, which I work for. I work for both them and T-Force. Also, let's see, there's a lot of independent companies out there that participate in this route and final mile business. The best way to find your gig is look for cargo vans in the transportation section on Craigslist. Look for cargo vans and you know, cars and SUVs jobs, because a lot of times you can use I use a 2017 Mercedes-Benz Metris Cargo for my deliveries. It's a perfect size. The maintenance is a little expensive, but the comfort and the smoothness of driving when you're constantly driving, it makes a difference, you know, on your lower back or whatever. But I recommend starting off cheaper, like starting off with a Sienna or Odyssey. Take the seats out. Make sure it's not brand new. Make sure it's, you know, have it checked out by a mechanic. Get it with like 150,000 miles. Pay $4,000 or $5,000 for the vehicle. It'll pay for itself within a couple of weeks if you're willing to run hard. We'll definitely check Craigslist out for transportation jobs and look under cargo van and see what we can come up with. Some of them you can do multiple gigs. I mean, one gig could be 8 hours and pays $1,000 a week, and you still, depending on your energy level, you might still have 4 or 5 hours left in the day where you can make $400 or $500 somewhere else, maybe even more. It's about having a go-get-it attitude, really. I mean, I love what I do, and I feel like I'm the very best at it because I'm willing to work all the time. Not many people can drive like I can, I understand, and they have family obligations or whatever, but I'm single, I live by myself, I have no pets right now. I lost my cat last week. So I'm free to drive wherever. I mean, I even drive on my days off. I have a place up in Maine where I like to go relax for the weekend and ski, so you're out here driving, busting your ass, just so you can have all those toys at home. You know what I mean? And that few days of relaxation every week. Well, anyway, that's the end of my first video. Thank you.